What's going on, everyone? Tommy P back with another naturally obsessed look into basketball. If you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video. And as I always like to preface by saying, I am not a basketball expert, just a fan who's naturally obsessed. And in today's video, a little bit of a shorter video for you all because I'm waiting to get some more info back. But I thought I'd touch base with you all, let you know where things stand currently with the Deandre Ayton situation, as I have been pretty regularly. Yesterday, there was a report going around social media that the Portland TRAILBLAZERS are withdrawing from what's being called the Deandre Ayton sweepstakes. Checked in with my friends, got an answer this morning. They were kind of short with me, though, because they have some meetings on Fridays. So they were able to confirm not that Portland is out, but that based on conversations that were had a couple days ago, it's looking less and less likely that Portland is a real contender to acquire Deandre Ayton because of where talks are currently going with Jusuf Nurkic. It's not that Jusuf Nurkic was considered a long shot to return, but he was expected to explore the free agent market. And given where Portland is at, yes, they have Damian Lillard, and when you have a top-tier superstar like Damian Lillard, anything can happen. Anything can happen. But it was at least expected that they'd pursue options in acquiring younger talent and just get kind of, not necessarily a fresh start, because obviously, again, Damian Lillard is absolutely nothing but loyal to Portland, but when you have a superstar like that, the word rebuild isn't very attractive. So what I like to use is retool. They were looking to retool that roster, but based on where conversations have been the last couple of days, from what I'm hearing with Jusuf Nurkic, it's more and more expected that they're going to bring Nurkic back, which would mean there's no place on that roster for a Deandre Ayton. So, and this is important because I made a video last week about Vegas releasing odds-on favorites for where Deandre Ayton is going to play next year. I take a lot of stock in that, and the reason why it was important is because I felt it kind of backed up claims that I had been making for the past couple weeks. Some of you all telling me I don't know what I'm talking about, even though I'm getting my info from in-house. So I think I do know what I'm talking about. And if I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking to people who do know what they're talking about. And Portland was the fourth best odds to acquire Deandre Ayton at the time of that video. I have not yet looked into what the odds are currently. I thought I'd hop right on here once I got off the phone, talk to you all, let you know about that. But another interesting story that's kind of beginning to unfold is a story about Rudy Gobert. I made a video last week about Rudy Gobert being heavily pursued by the Chicago Bulls, and there is a lot of talk about if that move does happen, it could be a draft night trade, Rudy Gobert going to the Chicago Bulls, and the Chicago Bulls sending back a package that would include Nikola Vucevic and the 18th overall pick. Where we stand now, at least from what I'm hearing, is that the Atlanta Hawks are trying to put a halt to that and seeing if they can put together an even better package to acquire Rudy Gobert. And why is that important to the Deandre Ayton situation? Well, I did do some digging, and the Atlanta Hawks have been linked to Deandre Ayton as well. In this sort of trade, I've been talking a lot about why it's very hard to receive maximum value for Deandre Ayton in a sign and trade situation, because where the CBA has that clause that puts a limitation on what a team sending out a player being signed and traded can receive back. So for example, Deandre Ayton signing a max extension, which he will, I'm telling you right now, he will, is going to put his salary next year at about $30.5 million, putting a cap on what the Suns can receive back at around $19 million. So the reason this matters is because I've also said, and people a lot smarter than me have been saying this as well, to maximize the value of Deandre Ayton, it would be in the Suns' best interest to see if they can find a third team to throw into the mix in a 3-team trade to mix around some salaries to where the Suns can receive the max back in return. So, that being said, I asked my friends this morning, could the Suns be a potential team in a 3-team trade to try to make this work? And the short answer I was given was, it's possible, because there have been minimal, not heavy talks, but minimal talks with Atlanta. In a trade like this, the Suns aren't going to be the ones to acquire Rudy Gobert. It would be the Hawks, but it got my brain thinking, would the Jazz be interested in Deandre Ayton? That wasn't confirmed to me. That is just speculation at this point. But in a trade like that, because the Hawks have been open about willing to part with this year's draft pick, Clint Capella, and John Collins. And in my opinion, either one of those two guys, John Collins and Clint Capella, can help the Phoenix Suns. They really can. And if you can shift around the money and the salaries to make it to where the Suns can get one of those guys in return, it's very compelling. Very compelling, and it's hard for me to say. I have my opinions, sure, but I'm more interested in what you guys think. It's hard for me to say definitively that either one of those guys make the Suns better than Deandre Ayton, but it gives the Suns, if you get a John Collins, because there's been a lot of difference of opinion in videos I've made throughout the week in saying that the Phoenix Suns, for a fact, conversations I've had, feel very comfortable with Cam Johnson being their starting power forward going into this year, and they felt comfortable this past year, but they ended up going with Jay Crowder because he's a much more versatile defender. And the overwhelming response from y'all was, you want a bigger body at the power forward. Totally fair. Totally understand. And I'm not saying I disagree. When I'm talking about what I'm hearing, it's simply that, guys. It's just what I'm hearing. Doesn't mean I agree with it. And to be quite honest, I love Cam Johnson. I think he is definitely a NBA caliber starter, 100%. But if you're asking me, would I pick Cam Johnson to start over a John Collins? No. I would start John Collins. No, don't even need time to think about it. And then for Clint Capella, if you were able to get him and start him at center over Deandre Ayton because you're sending him out, I don't think it necessarily makes you worse. I think you're losing a step offensively. But as far as rebounding goes, I think it's closer than a lot of people would think, because Deandre Ayton, good rebounder, definitely has some lapses, especially when it comes to offensive boards. But Clint Capella is a better rebounder than Deandre Ayton. Defensively, I think it's a pick'em. Honestly, I know that's going to sound crazy to some people, but they're two different types of defenders. Deandre Ayton's a more calculated defender, whereas Clint Capella is just a more aggressive defender. And a lot of people say they want Deandre Ayton to be more aggressive. If Deandre Ayton could be more aggressive, he would be top tier NBA center. Hard to argue with that skill set, but the fact is he's not more aggressive, and in my opinion, I've always felt this way even before we knew about Deandre Ayton. Aggression is something you're either born with or you're born without. I don't think it can be taught. And Deandre Ayton, I just don't think has that dog. Clint Capella does. So again, guys, this right here, I'm not reporting anything. It was just a question that I had because of how much I'm hearing about 3-team trades maximizing what you can get back in return for Deandre Ayton. So my friends have confirmed there were talks with the Atlanta Hawks to a minimal level, and that in-house, they haven't reached out to anyone, but in-house, they've done some math, and they're saying certain packages and 3-team deals with the Atlanta Hawks and the Utah Jazz would make a 3-team trade legal as far as the money goes. And there, again, a couple different packages. They're going to get back to me a little later. I'll probably have a video for you guys later today or tomorrow following up what I hear. But in the meantime, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there, guys. See what you think about it. Do either one of John Collins or Clint Capella make the Phoenix Suns better over DeAndre Ayton? Because they're not getting both back. It's going to, if this trade happens, it's going to be one or the other, because the vast majority of the assets are going to be going to Utah, because Rudy Gobert is the best player out of everyone that's being talked about for this hypothetical potential deal. So let me know what you guys think, and I appreciate you guys watching. Please don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe button, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought about today's video, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks, guys.